Welcome to 12leadtrainer.com tutorials, mastering the 12 lead with infinite possible rhythms. Today we're going to be debuting our heart view on our Learn page. Now, as always, when visiting the site, you have the option to sign in, sign up. Once you've signed in, made an account, you can toggle the Get Started button, and that's going to bring you to our Learn page. Now here, we have a randomly generated second degree type 2 heart block. Uh, Beautifully rendered. And that's what's always going to show up in front of you. But what we want to show off to you today is this heart view down here. Now, before we get into that, we're going to come down to the bottom right corner. And instead of a second degree type 2, I think we're going to start out with something a little more simple. So we'll pick a normal sinus rhythm. As I said before, you have your EKG view, which was standard before, but now we have the addition of the heart view. And once you toggle that tab, you now have an animated 3D rendering of the heart itself and the atria and the ventricles and how they interact in whatever preset rhythm you choose to set up with the 12 lead trainer. Now, the nice thing about this is that we can see how the heart and the chambers of the heart interact with each other depending on the different rhythms. So for instance, with the sinus rhythm here, we can also go down to our preset rhythms and see how the heart interacts in a different rhythm, such as atrial fibrillation. Very noticeable now, we have a very different interaction or relationship between the atria and the ventricles. Makes a little bit more sense to us as opposed to what we read in books, gives a uh, visual help to us to understand what's going on with our patients and with the heart. Another great example of this would be if we go to our preset heart blocks. So we can go to our third degree heart block, traditionally bradycardic, uh, total dissociation between the atria and the ventricles, and we can see that represented here. You also have the ability to drag the mouse around to change what parts of the heart you happen to be looking at. And by using this, we can also look at the very subtle differences between a third degree heart block and, say, a second degree type 2. Something that ends up being very difficult on, say, a static cardiology assessment. However, once we can see it in front of our eyes, it makes a little bit more sense as to what the heart's doing. An additional feature of the heart view is that we can toggle any electrical trajectory that is going through the heart. So any lead view that we would like to. And where this comes into play quite a bit of the time is when we're looking at myocardial infarctions. So for the purposes of this tutorial, we can go to our preset myocardial infarctions and we'll pick maybe one of our more common ones. And we can look at the anterior MI. If you look at your running EKG strip up here, that's set to the default of whatever trajectory you have picked in the heart view. Not a lot going on here as we look at that running EKG tracing. However, since we're looking at a anterior MI, if we were to toggle a V3 lead, we see quite a different perspective as far as ST elevation in our lead tracing up top, as well as in V4. And again, you have the ability to view all sides of the heart. You can view any lead up to an 18 lead with the heart view, and see exactly how the heart interacts. And you can also manually manipulate it around to leads that are maybe perhaps a little bit more unorthodox in order to see what's going on with the heart. This and many other tools with the 12 leader site or 12 lead trainer site is what we're hoping you'll benefit from in your education and your teaching. We thank you for your time today. And again, hope you visit 12leadtrainer.com. Infinite Possible Rhythms,